Ah oui, Emeline Michel, Timounio. Chanson du jour, explosion, bon vendredi, bon week-end à vous tous. Ou même qui dans la rue à Fontigeant, prudent, oui là. Yeah, Mr. Kill, my friend. I'm happy to see you again this morning. We've been talking, privately, off the air about certain things. How was your week, my friend?
It was a great week. I'm happy it's Friday. Worked very hard. Helped a lot of people. I have a young assistant, Anna, who's only been with me now 3 months. Very smart young lady. She goes to FIU, and she's going to be going to law school in a couple years. So I'm going to have her for at least probably the next 2 years, maybe longer, or maybe I'll keep her from starting law school because I've already told her she needs to get through law school so she can come and practice law with me. Okay, very smart lady. Well, she got her first modification today.
Oh, wow.
The people were in foreclosure. They had a reverse as far as their employment, and they weren't able to make their mortgage payments. They got behind, and the bank filed a foreclosure, and we just got them a modification. And the modification, the interest rate is lower in the modification than was in his original mortgage.
Wow.
So we're very, very happy, and she's very excited. They're coming in probably today or Monday, he and his wife, to sign the modification.
Wow. So the interest rate that is kind of lower right now. It's good for when you are dealing with certain type of cases.
Well, right now the interest rate is lower, but it's really I tell my clients, even if the interest is a little high, this is how they're going to save their house. So even if they have to pay a point more or 2 points more than what's in their original mortgage, if we don't get that modification and they don't accept it, guess what? The foreclosure will go through and they'll end up losing their house, or they'll be forced to sell their house. So in this case, it turns out that the interest rate is actually a half a point lower. And so we're very, very excited and very pleased with that. And we have probably right now about 10 open files where we're doing modifications for clients. All of them are in foreclosure. So this is the way we save their house.
Listen, from the beginning when we start that conversation, or maybe your first conversation, you told me, Sever, in the months to come, you will see more foreclosure cases. How did you know about that?
The reason that's happening is for a couple of reasons.
I mean, how did you know they will come?
Well, because I see what's happening with the insurance. The insurance rates are going up and up and up. And for some people, they've almost doubled in the last 3 years. And so if your insurance goes from $4,000 to $8,000, that makes your mortgage payment go up. Could be almost $400 or $500 a month. And so a lot of people cannot afford that new insurance rate. So as soon as your insurance gets canceled, as soon as you stop making those payments, the bank's going to file foreclosure. And the bank is going to foreclose your home, and their bank's even going to put what they call forced place insurance on your house. They're going to buy the insurance, and their insurance is even going to be more than the insurance rate that you just got from your insurance man. So the insurance is a big, big problem. The governor is in bed with the insurance companies, so we're not going to get any help from the Republican governor or the Republican legislators who right now have controlled the legislature in Florida for at least the last 7 years. So we're not going to get any relief from them. So we depend on Kamala Harris to be elected president, because then she can work federally with the big insurance companies to get them to lower their rates. She did that when she was the Attorney General of California, because the foreclosure crisis happened back in 2008 while she was the Attorney General in California, and she made the banks give a much better deal than they originally offered to all of the people in California that were under foreclosure.
So it seems like the banks are, the banks are very happy to to take over the house. Do you think so or no?
The banks, they say they're not, but the banks, all the banks have relationships with companies, hedge funds, who buy up hundreds of houses a year in Florida and other states. And these hedge funds have bought thousands of houses, and then they put them in rental pools, and they're all over the state of Florida. They'll buy 100 in 1 month. Mm-hmm. And these are the big hedge funds, and that's also the reason why the rents are so high, because these hedge funds have investors, and they have to give them a high rate of return on their investment. So the house that should have rented for $2,000, they have them renting for $3,000, which makes it really difficult for the people to be able to afford to live in Florida.
So what would you advise people who are paying for mortgage? Negligence is a big factor.
Well, I tell people the rent right now. The rents are so high in Miami that if they can qualify for a mortgage,
it's better.
It's better. And first of all, if you can qualify for an FHA mortgage, you only have to come up with 3.5%, 4% as a down payment. Mm-hmm. And because FHA will finance the rest of it. So if you have decent credit, you're going to probably be paying the same or even less than the rent. But you're going to have the advantage that the tax deductible, the interest on your mortgage, the taxes, that's all tax deductible. So it's actually much cheaper in the end to own than it is to rent. All you get with a rent is you get a rent receipt every month. Okay, whereas if you own a house or an apartment, you're building equity, but you're also spending probably the same amount of money and you're getting a deduction from your taxes.
Yeah, but some people are very negligent. For example, you have 1 month. You have 2 months that you don't pay for your mortgage. Maybe you are dealing with some tough situations, but at least you need to watch out whenever the mail stop by. You need to pay attention to the mail. Right. Some people are very negligent, and then finally they end up of being in foreclosure.
Yeah. That's very common, Severe. And what I tell people is, if you've made your mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. You don't have to think about it. If you're having financial difficulties, and if you're not going to be able to make your mortgage payment next month. As soon as you get into that situation, you're worrying, you're up all night thinking about it. You don't want to tell your wife. You don't want to tell your kids, guess what? We don't have the money to make the mortgage payment. That's when you call my office. Mm-hmm. You call my office now. You don't wait later, because you have much more options now. Get an arrangement, a modification with the bank before they file the foreclosure.
Or before you get served.
Before they get served.
Before you receive the 30 days later.
Once they file the foreclosure fee is a minimum $900. That's the fee, plus their attorney's fees. So right away when they file the foreclosure against you, it's going to cost you $4,000 or $5,000 more than if you had come to me earlier and we were able to get you into a repayment plan or a modification and save all that grief as far as a foreclosure. So everybody, if you're in trouble. If you haven't made your mortgage payment this month, next month, and if you haven't made your mortgage payments in the past, call my office now. Let us help you.
Avocat, nous t'as parlé avec lui là de question foreclosure. C'est un élément qui est important pour nous parce que nous connaissons grand pile monde qui fait 3 jobs, gen monde qui fait 2 jobs pour yo réussir acheter un vieux caille puis sortir dans le loyer. Et donc, vous imaginez qu'on arrive dans une situation, soit on perd du job ou soit on est malade, et puis qu'on y a ou trouvé dans foreclosure. Depuis vous avez 1 mois, ou avez 2 mois, ou pas payer mortgage dans difficulté qu'on trouve là, courir les avocats Daniel Kill office dans 305 821 55 00, 305 821 55 00, parce que eh bien, compagnie yo, mortgage yo, ou du moins c'est banque yo déjà aligné ou déjà dans visière yo pour yo chercher un gens pour yo prendre caille là dans main. Et donc depuis ou dans situation comme ça, OK, ou pas besoin tant que yo vienne servir pour te conseiller l'état pour te lettre bon pour dire le tribunal vous servir, mais depuis ou qu'on gagne un mois, 1 month, 2 months, you don't pay. Call 305-821 5500 305 821 5500. When I went to your office, I see how many people you've been helped with the foreclosure. I've seen the numbers is on the wall.
Yeah, you see the sign. I think we're up to 1,253. That's the number of modifications that I've done in the last 12 years. And like I said, we have another one. So we have a little ceremony. They're going to come to the office.
Wow.
We give them a big marker, and then they mark over. If it's 3, right, 1253, they're going to mark over the 3 and do a 4 over top of it. And we take their picture, and we give them, everybody laughs and celebrates. And we get off on that. And that's really what we're doing there. Our goal is helping people. And when you help somebody save their house, we're saving the house for them, their kids, maybe their grandkids, and maybe they have their grandparents living with them, because we all have blended families, and they're all, because of the cost of living in Miami, we can have 3 generations living in our house. So we've estimated that we probably saved the homes for anywhere 8,000 or 9,000 people in the last 12 years.
Wow.
And so that's what keeps me going. And the other thing I wanted to mention was we opened 2 probate files this week. We keep seeing the same situation over and over where people pass away and they don't have a will. And so we need to do a probate to determine who's going to inherit the property. And in a lot of cases, nobody's making the mortgage payment. So they come to me and they say, look, my parents died a year ago. Well, we didn't know where we should pay the mortgage payment, so nobody paid it. Now we just got served. We all moved into the house. We all just got served with a foreclosure. What do we do now? So I end up representing them for the foreclosure defense. At the same time, we go to court and we have them, through the probate system and the statute of the state of Florida, they inherit that property. As soon as that property is in their name, they can then refinance the property, they can sell the property, but they don't lose the property to a foreclosure. So we have probably 6 of those files right now. So that's why I tell people you should do a will or you should do a ladybird deed so this doesn't happen, because probate can be expensive, and it's an unnecessary expense if you do family planning ahead of time. So if you're in that situation and you have a house that's owned by you or your grandparents, whatever, let's do a will or let's do a ladybird deed. Let them decide who gets the house. Okay? Because otherwise, if the state decides and we go by and there's 4 kids and 2 of those kids have never helped their parents, and if anything, they borrowed money they never paid back, well, those 2 kids are going to have each 25% share of that house with the 2 good kids who took care of them the rest of their life. So if you don't want that situation to happen, talk to your parents or talk to your grandparents. Let's do a ladybird deed or let's do a will, and let's let them to decide who are the kids that should inherit the house. The good kids, not the bad kids.
So I had one of my listeners who called me sometime last Sunday, and he had involved in a car accident. I don't know if the office, I know he called, but I don't know how the case is going on.
Yeah.
So I know you do will, you do foreclosure, you do accident cases.
Of course.
Yes.
We've been doing accident cases for, now I've been practicing almost 50 years, so I think we've lost count. We're around 7,000 or 8,000 cases. But if you're in an accident, the insurance company is going to reach out to you, and the insurance company is going to probably make you an offer for very much less than what the value of your case is. You call my office, it's on a contingency, meaning if we don't collect money for you, you don't owe us anything. And it's in our best interest to get you as much as we can get you because we're going to get a percentage of it. That's the way personal injury works in the state of Florida. It's on a contingency basis. So if you're in an accident, a slip and fall, or you get robbed or beaten up in the parking lot of Home Depot, call my office, we'll represent you. I know the last thing that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at a poster that I received that you have in your station here. November 5th, general election. Okay, hopefully everybody registered because Monday was the last day. So now we have to get out the vote. And I recommend that you do early voting. You either do mail-in or you go, there's going to be early voting all around Miami for 2 weeks prior to the election. So I'm recommending, and I, myself, and my wife, we're going to do early voting because I don't trust the Republicans. I'm afraid if we wait till November 5th, they'll have roadblocks or some type of situation that could scare people from voting. Or they make us stand in line for 4 or 5 hours. And so I'm recommending that everybody do early voting, and I need everybody to remember the Electoral College has 30 ballots for the state of Florida. And if Donald Trump gets one more vote than Kamala Harris, he'll get the whole 30 votes. We cannot let that happen. So everybody, get yourself organized with your family, with your church, and so that everybody knows their role and everybody gets out there and does early voting so that we have a big victory and we celebrate. And we're able to celebrate on November 6th.
Thank you very much, my friend. I'm sure I will see you on next Friday.
Okay, Sabir, thank you very much for allowing me to speak to all of your listeners.
Have a great
weekend.
Great weekend, great Friday, my friend. And it's kind of raining right now. You know.
We were very lucky.
Make sure you drive
We
safe.
were very lucky.
Yeah, I know.
We were very lucky.
Make sure you drive safe.
I will.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kill.